Hey, what's going on, you guys? My name is Rage, and we are back here today with a quick video overview of the Pocket Dimensions that's now currently live here, featuring Cabal. So this is the new one that's actually going to be for, I believe it's dubbed as Temporal Dimensions. It's an opportunity for us to work our way towards the 3 diamond of Ghost Spider, located under the epic campaigns here, and it should be on the far left here for right here. Boom, the next rendition of the Pocket Dimensions. As you can see here, it looks like already some folks getting through 63% of it. So that's awesome to see that it doesn't seem that hard, because if they're actually on here, it means that it should have been the time run, I believe. So folks are already finishing, which is great to see. We obviously had a preview yesterday of the nodes, and actually we don't see the global damage yet, so I'm curious how my team's going to be. But let me show you guys my team, and then we're just going to do the playthrough live. So I got my characters right now, each and every one of them. My Cabal team is level 90. Gear tier 16 is as high as I've brought them right now. No further upgrades. I want to see how far this does, and then obviously capture this. This is probably going to be in multiple videos, guys, just because I don't want this to be a 1 hour long video of me going through the different areas. But thankfully, with Temporal Dimensions, they do break out into different sections here. As you can see, we got this normal section here. I believe this one was the hard. Then we got masters, and then finally the final node. So we'll just see how we go, how it goes. I guess the very beginning here, especially being quite easy. And the nice thing is, guys, make sure that you are separating and splitting up your team. And how you can do that is just drag and drop your Cabal characters. It does look like these are the only characters that are allowed so far. So we're going to see how we progress along the way. I know in the blog post too, they did release that there's going to be some nodes where we do get some additional characters. I'm curious which ones that's going to be. And remember, because this is structured like a dark dimension, you do want to be kind of mindful of the characters' cooldowns and their abilities, right? So you don't want to be just spamming all their abilities nonstop when you can, because it does carry over into the next node. So especially, I would say, the big abilities like the ultimates, be cautious on that. Thankfully, we do have some, I believe it's the leader, and I haven't had a chance to play this team much just because I've been building up for this event, and obviously Old Man Logan's event next week, the week after. We just need to be mindful that, you know, the cooldowns are important. Thankfully, we are up against some squishy enemies here, so I'm not using any of my abilities because I don't really know what's coming up next. But thankfully, in this first node, nobody should have any issues with it, especially with the gear tier requirement being gear tier 14. If you guys are watching this and your team isn't as built up to my level, make sure you're focusing the damage dealers. That's kind of what I'm doing right now. I'm aiming for the troopers, and then followed by the supportive cast. But you may not have a choice if these security shield minions are actually taking the taunt there. So you might just have to attack. So we'll go ahead. We're just gonna do that real quick and finish them off. So yeah, sorry guys, this is not exactly great content, but we're gonna obviously get progressively harder here for you. So yeah, again, in this mixture here, aim for the damage dealer in being trooper if you guys have a smaller team than myself, and then focus on support, which in this case we already took down the tank, but it is what it is. I do like the support mechanic, and I should have gone through that, but what I believe right now, I have both Patriot and leader at striker, and then having Namor actually with the raider, because he does have some really nice crit burst. So that's going to be very, very pivotal as we're progressing through these nodes. So what is also nice is that you don't have to be completing the entire pocket dimension to get rewards along the way. Each node does have the rewards. So for example, we just got 500k gold. We're up against another minion team here. So this one, I am going to speed through this a little bit more. Maybe what I'll do is I'm going to use some specials and ultimates, but being mindful of obviously the turns that we can use to build up some of these characters. So again, it's you can see it's going to be very similar here. So I am actually going to activate Iron Patriot's special here. Since it's at the very beginning, it's going to wipe out that first wave. Maybe I should have actually saved that, but I'm going to use the special here from Namor down the middle here. And, you know, I'm going to go ahead. I like leader special because he gives a bunch of buffs to the team as well. And we are up against some real characters at the very end. So I can definitely see this one being trickier if you don't have your Cabal, you know, built up a little higher. Thankfully, mine being at gear tier 16 does soak up quite a bit of damage. But yeah, you can see already. Yeah, let's go ahead. We're going to use the ultimate here from Iron Patriot because it just does some nice burst damage there. The stun on Maria Hill. And I'm going to be learning their kits along the way here, guys. So, yeah, you know what? Let's go ahead. Let's use the ultimate here from leader. And what's nice about that ability is that it also grants us energy. So that was the one I'm kind of referring to. It means you got to be very, very mindful when you're using that, obviously, because it grants energy back. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to use Namor's ultimate just to get familiar with this kit. Obviously, the huge burst and now we're gonna be basically the start here, just building up energy once again. So definitely the one thing for shield minions is that they scale exceptionally well, building up each other and running like that. So just be mindful of that. Now this is kind of what I was worried about. You see, I used all those abilities, and you can see why this is going to be trickier later on, because I just wanted to see what the spread of it would be like. But you can see the cooldowns, right? This is going to be pretty meaningful later if you're starting off the wrong node with you know, barely any of your abilities. And I think it's just the leader that that actually grants energy. So if you're not careful, you could very well be putting your team in a position where you're starting off the battle with not really much opportunities to do anything. You're basically just a punching bag until you get your turns back, right? So just something to be mindful of. Thankfully, we're testing it out on these little you know, these characters that are significantly lower than us, and we're building up energy again. But it means that when we do use these abilities later on, we got to be mindful of how this is going to carry over into the next node here. So definitely a good learning lesson, just so that way you guys get it, you see it on screen as well, how long that actually does take. Again, using the abilities and then following that with leader's ultimate is probably one of the best ways to at least get some energy back. But yeah, it's not gonna be great because these characters do have some pretty big cooldowns, especially when you're taking a look at, you know, Namor's ultimate, and especially the leader's ultimate as well. Both of them take time to get back to normal. What I am noticing as well is, oh cool, we actually get Juggernaut in this node, so he's gonna be soaking up some damage. So obviously him having the taunt's gonna be big, but we're up against a very supplementary kind of team here in this rebirth mixture, as well as having that revive mechanic. So I am gonna actually go ahead. I'm gonna use the special because I love the AOE that it does bring. And again, I'm just getting familiar with this team dynamic, right? And you do want to be taking characters like Carter down, just because, you know, she actually has a revive mechanic. So taking her down, I am a big fan of Iron Patriot special, though. It does a good amount of damage, the vulnerables that it adds up. And we are actually gonna use the oh shoot, he had disruption, so I was actually hoping to taunt, but whatever, it is what it is. At least thankfully these guys are nothing right now. Only 93k, so yeah, this is not gonna be an issue whatsoever. But again, take the opportunity here, guys, if you're working through it like myself, just to learn the kits right now, because this is obviously gonna be very, very important. Oh man, that Juggernaut actually almost got one-shotted there, so we don't actually have a choice. Wow, that guy hit like a truck, so I'm gonna activate the ultimate there, just to give us some barrier, and as well the stun's pretty nice. But we're gonna need to worry about that later on, because you can see, guys, that bleed is pretty big. Oh yeah, and just like that, that's how fast it is. So that leads me to believe here, and that's probably why it was important to have Juggernaut in that side, right? So and again, guys, my guys are leveled up a little bit higher, so I know Juggernaut's gonna spawn actually to the left of me, so I'm gonna put my team actually on the left side. But this is a great example of how some of these enemies, don't underestimate them, because if they inflict the right conditions on you, it could very well be bad news for your team, especially on a pivotal support character like the leader. But keep in mind too, that's why they have the revives here. There are going to be some nodes where they did comment that it's going to take some revives. You're going to have to refresh and potentially core to actually, you know, get that up. But I do like how Iron Patriot special, it's a really good ability to start things off, the flip. And again, what kind of killed us earlier was the fact that we didn't have Juggernaut's special. So when we get that this time around, we're going to be in a much better position here. So doing a lot better than the last run already. This guy hits hard with his offense down, but now we actually have Juggernaut's taunt, so he's gonna be soaking up some nice damage for us there. I'm gonna activate the special to add some regen, some buffs onto our team. I'm loving the assist mechanic here too. And again, Namor just has that issue where, you know, if you're using his abilities, it's gonna take a lot of time to build his energy back up. So I can see why they said that there's gonna be some strategic ways to actually use some of their abilities. So I'm gonna activate the ultimate here, just to stun Winter Soldier. And so what's surprising too, guys, is I'm gear tier 6D, level 90, but these tunes are actually scaled lower than us, but they are kind of putting up a fight. You can see here they are actually you know, not to walk in the park, because our abilities aren't one-shotting them by any means. I still have to be somewhat strategic with what I'm doing. And again, now at least thankfully we do have Juggernaut on our side, but he's essential, man. He's kind of essential to just give us that little bit of protection here. You can see, right? My team is I think double the TCP of some of these characters here, but we're not one-shotting them by any means. It's still going to be, and this is the normal section too, so I definitely foresee this being a little trickier once it goes into the harder section. So this is a great example, guys. I don't like what we're up against here. We're going to use the special for Iron Patriot. He flips everything, and as well, the defense down's pretty big for a damage perspective. In a perfect world, I would love to use Namor's ultimate just to crush all these guys, but I feel like we need it for the higher nodes, and right now the assisted attacks are getting it done for us, thankfully. And now this Juggernaut, he's just putting in the work right now. He's pretty pivotal, guys. So if you lose this Juggernaut, it could be bad news here. So let's see here. Let's go ahead. Just use the ultimate, go down the middle there. Yeah, he's been a nice addition to this team at least. So they designed it in a way where they're giving us at least some useful characters, because he's like a designated tank there, obviously. And you know what? I'm gonna activate the ultimate because I just want to get that AOE burst down there. And we're still, I think the nice the balancing act here is just make sure you guys are watching. Oh yeah, so that's what I mean, guys. Let's just look at the bleeds on Namor. He's gonna go down. I don't think he's gonna survive. He's got the death proof, but oh, thankfully that actually lost it. So wow, you can see how problematic this is going to be, just because this team doesn't really have a lot of support capabilities outside of the leader, and he can only do so much when his cooldowns are so long too, right? So yeah, guys, I don't know how I'm going to feel about this as we get higher and higher. You almost need to keep building them higher. I think everyone's going to think that this is a walk in the park, and again, my characters are level 90 at gear tier 16, and thankfully, like I said, we have leader kind of keeping us afloat, Juggernaut tanking the damage, but I can definitely see this being trickier, guys. And again, I'm holding back on using my my Namor ultimate because I just don't want to waste it. It takes so long to build it back up too. So obviously, if I use that, I could probably clear some of this content faster. But then, does that screw me for later on when I'm going forward into the nodes? I do need that damage and burst. That's kind of where I think that's going to be the situation, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I'm curious if this works for you guys. But yeah, I think the big issue is definitely the cooldowns. Thankfully, we're through this node, but yeah, we're wrapping up the normal section here pretty soon here, so that's good to see. But my goodness, this is I can definitely see some difficulties as we're ramping up here. Okay, guys, so back here, and I tried a few times already with my Gear Tier 16 team, but they weren't getting the job done for this final node. So what I did is I went through, guys. I did upgrade my Gear Tier level here to 17. We're gonna see if this can get the job done, but it's pretty crazy to see that because my character's already ready, just waiting to be leveled up. I was planning to potentially for Old Man Logan's event, but yeah, it's crazy, guys. If this gets the job done, great, but it's a scary reality for what this could be in terms of an event, because you can see I'm not sure what's going on in this node, guys. Maybe we're just playing it wrong, but you know, these enemies, they're not that big, as you can see with the Gear Tier level, and obviously the stars and so forth are there, but they just don't have the same levels as our team. But they're like almost the equivalent of some sort of Gear Tier 16 gear. It just feels like that anyways, right? So you can see here, like, look, I'm up against a Tigra, 4 stars, 4 yellow, 2 red, and you know, we have a Gear Tier 17 Iron Patriot that was not able to one-shot them, you know, and we have a lot more damage than that. Maybe it's the fact that I have lower stars on my team, but we're dealing here with Gear Tier 17, and it's still not a walk in the park, guys. So it's kind of scary. Remember, they do expect us for some nodes to take multiple attempts, but do they expect that already at the very beginning of the normal section here? That's kind of what I'm worried about, guys, because if that's the case, then this event is going to be very brutal, and you know, we're not that far away from maxing on our characters. I mean, we're only a few more levels, and Gear Tier 18 is literally around the corner for this Cabal team, but it's kind of crazy to see how strong these enemies we're up against, and this is just the normal section. You know, there's nobody that's kind of scary. Like, the majority of the enemies we're up against right now are minions. You know, that's crazy, guys. Got Ronin there. Look at the amount of damage he's doing to me. Like, look at that. That's crazy, guys. That's absolutely crazy. So I feel like, are they meant to actually take down this team? We're gonna try reviving and see how that goes. But yeah, I think just look at this. Their levels compared to us, we're Gear Tier 17, we're level 90, but they're just completely wiping the floor with us right now. And maybe we're meant to fail here, and you have to bring in the second attempt. But I don't know, guys. Make sure you're reviewing what's worth it for you guys, because I think that's gonna be the big question mark. Are the rewards for Pocket Dimensions worth it, so that you're gonna be getting these resources after? You know, I think that's the big thing here. So this is the final node here of normal. And although it's like, you know, requiring, you know, thankfully we do get this energy per day, but we're now going to be needing to go back in here for the second attempt. And this team is not a small team. This is 646,000. Mind you, my stars are lower, but it's crazy that we do already have to bring in a second attempt. And again, my characters are level 90, gear tier 17. So we're not that far away from gear tier 18, guys. It's kind of crazy. So let's go ahead. At least thankfully, restarting this, we do get Graviton back again. But I think part of the issue with this node was just that we were messing with so many minions, and they had the protection here of the new Avengers. Tigra, thankfully, is now taken care of. But yeah, it's crazy, guys. You almost do need 2 attempts on this, which is astronomical to me, since we're just starting off, and we're not even in like the, you know, technically the harder section of the Pocket Dimensions yet. Now, good news is that they used all their abilities now, so we should be able to take down Ronin. And when we do, we're just going to conserve our energy, because we need to save everything for the harder sections of Pocket Dimensions, guys. So look at that. Ronin's just absolutely tearing it up. We go ahead. We're going to aim for him first. Big damage dealer there. Thankfully, this is the last of the new Avengers. And after this, it should just be minions, right? We don't have anybody else that we're dealing with here. But yeah, this is crazy, guys. Actually needing 2 attempts here in the first final node here of this first section. Like, and again, in between, when I started, I had to bring in my characters from 16, gear tier 16 to 17. So I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments below, guys. It's kind of a scary reality if you want to keep on pushing higher. Remember, I feel like you're gonna need more than just gear tier 18 to get all the way, because that was just the first section here. And I would take a cold hard look at your roster and see if you guys need these rewards, because you're going to probably need to bring your Cabal all the way to the moon to get this done with multiple attempts. So yeah, let me know anything in the comments below, guys. I'll be back with a part 2. I keep continuing. I'll keep you guys up to date. Thank you for your time as always, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.